Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Morgan and I have my own art small business called Morgan's Creations. This video is going to be a paint with me vlog. I'm going to be painting my new upcoming series of watercolor bookmarks. The release date of these bookmarks is Friday, March 20th. So by the time this video comes out, they will already be out. I will leave a link in the description if you want to check them out or purchase them. I do seasonal drops of watercolor bookmarks. These are limited edition, hand-painted, handmade. So right now I'm releasing a collection of 6 new bookmarks. These are inspired by spring and summer scenery. So I'm doing 3 spring-inspired bookmarks and 3 summer-inspired bookmarks. I'm combining spring and summer, so I'm only gonna have, I think, 2 watercolor bookmark drops this year. So this is the first one. Then later in the year, I'll combine fall and winter and have those released at once. All right, so let's get into the creative process of this video. It was a little bit different than my normal process. These are my thumbnail sketches for my 6 new watercolor bookmarks. For the 3 spring ones, I'm doing cherry blossoms, water lilies, and like a meadow sunset. And for summer, I'm doing a plain sunset, the ocean, like a beach kind of scene, and a lighthouse sunset. These are the paint tubes that I usually use. They're by the brand Royal and Langnickel. So up until this point, I've been using watercolor tubes, but recently I was cleaning my room and under my bed, I found a brand new paint set. These came from an old art kit that was under my bed. It was one of those art kits that comes in like a briefcase, and it was unlabeled, it was unmarked, so unfortunately I don't know the brand, but I decided to try out these watercolor paints. Usually I don't use sets like this. I'm used to using tubes. Before this, I had preferred to mix the colors myself, like squeeze out the paint tubes and mix the colors myself in a paint palette, but this time I decided to try something new and different for me, get a little bit out of my comfort zone. So I decided to try out this set, and it has these colors already pre-made, so you just add water to it and you paint directly out of the set. I also did not use a palette for mixing this time. I mixed the colors directly onto the watercolor paper, which again is something I don't usually do. I'm not really used to it, but I wanted to try something new, try different techniques, get outside of my comfort zone for this collection, and just try out these paints that I had sitting under my bed. So this was the perfect time to try these out and experiment. I actually really enjoyed the painting process. I did save a lot of time because I did not have to squeeze out paint tubes, so I spent less time mixing colors, and instead I mixed the colors directly onto the paintings and the paper. I did choose not to use a palette to mix the paints. I really enjoyed this different process, and I actually didn't run into any issues. I wasn't sure if I would. I wasn't sure if I would like the process, but I actually really enjoyed it, and it was really easy. I haven't painted out of a watercolor paint set in years, probably since I was a kid. You know, those really cheap Crayola ones. That's probably the last time I've done this. I like to do seasonal releases and make them inspired by the different seasons and scenery, nature and landscapes and stuff like that. So that was kind of the inspiration behind this collection. And again, this is the first collection for 2026 of watercolor bookmarks. For the spring bookmarks, I was really inspired by flowers. I really associate spring with flowers, so I definitely wanted to do some lighter colors and make them all centered around flowers. So that's where the lily pads and the water lilies come in. I really like that aesthetic. Same thing with cherry blossoms. I also associate spring with like cherry blossoms, and I love painting cherry blossoms. I also wanted to do kind of like a sunset meadow where I can incorporate some flowers in a meadow and also do a sunset, so that's also what I did for the spring ones. And the summer ones, I associate like traveling and vacation with summer, so that's why I did the plain. I thought a sunset would be a really cool background for that and have a plain silhouette, like a plane landing, and vacation as well, so that's where the beach one comes in. I love painting beaches, oceans, the waves and the water, and for vacation every year I do go to a beach, so that was also really inspiring. I've also always wanted to paint a watercolor lighthouse. I've always had this idea and I just haven't done it until now, and I think it fits the summer aesthetic that I'm going for perfectly. Again, with like the ocean and the beach theme, I think a lighthouse would fit well into that for summer, so that's kind of the inspiration behind the designs that I picked. Once the painting process was done, I also flattened them out. I used the technique that involves an iron, so I basically ironed the paper, and the heat helps to relax the fibers in the watercolor paper. So once the bookmarks are heated up a little bit, I put them directly under some heavy books. Having the flat books on top helps to flatten out the bookmarks, so does the weight of the books. I left those to flatten out for I think about 2 days. I needed to sign all of them. I signed them in the bottom right hand corner. I used a black ink pen. For the bookmarks that had black at the bottom, I used a white gel pen to put my initials. So after about 2 days, I took the bookmarks out and it was time for me to spray them. I coat them all with workable fixative. It's just a nice clear light coating of a spray varnish that I use just to finish them off. I always add a protective top coat to all of my drawings and paintings. Once all of that was done, I took some product pictures, uploaded them to my shop and my website, and I got ready to launch them. So here's what they look like now, ready to go up on my shop and my website. So again, these bookmarks are out now. I released them on March 20th. So if you're interested in purchasing these, or you just want to check them out on my website or my shop, I will leave all of my links in the description. So that was the entire process of how I created my 2026 spring/summer watercolor bookmark collection. There won't be another watercolor bookmark release until the fall and winter, so these hopefully will be up for a while. If they sell out, maybe I'll make more, but that's kind of my plans for this year as far as my watercolor bookmarks. These are one of my best-selling products, so I'm really glad I found success with this product, and I'm going to continue to make them every single year. In the comments below, you can share all of your thoughts and ideas about my products or about this video. Just share anything you want down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!